This is Morten from INKISH TV, and today I have the pleasure to talk to. I dare to call you my friend Wayne, because this is Wayne Beckett from Printing-Expo.online. And you said to me just before we turned on the recording, you said it's almost like 2 years anniversary for Printing-Expo.online. Congratulations!
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh no, we are friends. I think the length of time we've known each other and we've seen ourselves in various places. I think it's fair to say we're friends.
2 years, and it's funny because I think that most people thought of Printing-Expo.online as a reaction to the pandemic, but I think when we spoke in the first time we spoke to each other, you were actually planning Printing-Expo.online even before the pandemic, and now we are past the pandemic. So what kind of is it something that you should consider as being the avatar of the real shows, or where should we place your service and product in the market?
When we launched, we actually launched in March of 2020, as when we first made the announcement. And at that time, everyone was like, wow, this is amazing. You brought this in just as live shows are stopping. I wish I had that information. I didn't. It was just, it just happened. But then it had the reverse effect, because shortly after that, everybody went on lockdown. People were sent on furlough, so marketing companies shut down and marketing departments. So we didn't really get back on track to actually talking to people about until kind of about September time of 2020.
Basically after the lockdown was in effect.
Yeah, exactly. The whole planet stopped, didn't it, for like 6 months. But thankfully, a couple of our larger exhibitors now picked up on it fairly quickly, namely HP and Muller Martini, and they got the concept, and thankfully they've been developing over the last couple of years. But it was like the forward-thinking companies that I think initially they really invested in the platform because of COVID, but now we're out of COVID and live events are starting. They actually can see the benefit of using it for 365 days a year. And as we were saying just before we came online, HP took the Digital Pouch Factory to Label Expo in Chicago. They also had the Digital Pouch Factory at Printing United. So where they can't take machines, they're actually taking their virtual environment. And so the show is one thing, but it's being able to use it at live events, is an added bonus.
Wayne, I can't help think about, because on social media, and in particular LinkedIn, you from time to time, actually quite frequently, you post messages about how many people actually uses the platform. Quite astonishing numbers. Has that come as a surprise to you that many people are using it, or is that what one can expect when you? Because it takes a lot of time to get known in the market. It takes a lot of time to sell the space online and for people to get used to it. But is that aligned with your expectation, or is it higher or lower, or how do you see that?
We launched a brand new platform. It's like whenever you launch a business, you have hopes and aspirations. We've had just under 71,000 visitors so far, but visitors come and go. So the show's changing all the time. People like Muller Martini, they started off with 4 production lines. They've now got 9 production lines. Zycon started off with all deco showroom. We've just opened Graphic Arts. We're just about to open their label showroom, so they'll have 3 showrooms. Their application centre. HP have doubled the size of the stands that they've got at the show. So there's always another reason to come back. It's changing all the time. The content's changing. So I just wanted to create a platform that OEMs can advertise globally, cost effectively, because you can't do all the shows. You can't exhibit at every exhibition in every country. I know you visit most of them this year. I don't think there's many print shows you haven't visited.
Oh yeah.
But to take a stand and take equipment to every exhibition in every country is hard. So what we tried to do was create a platform that bridged that gap. And face-to-face shows are important. I love exhibitions. I come from a live exhibition background.
I was just about to say that because you come from the IPEX world, and one thing is that we meet each other now virtually, but you were at our non-event. I have met you at Printing United, met you at Label Expo. So I mean, we meet each other at the physical shows as well, because I think that the platform is great for exchanging valuable information about products and services, but still the face-to-face time, that still is more valuable in person, right? I think that you agree on that too, right?
100%, yeah, 100%. As I said, the platform's not there to replace live events. It is there.
Yep.
We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. It's free to visit, and people can come and log in from anywhere in the world. That generates data, the visitor tracking, everybody has to register. So it's a great way for our exhibitors, large or small, whether you've got a 3 metre by 3 metre stand or a 3,000 square metre stand like Muller Martini. It's a great way to display products and collect data and then take that on and build relationships.
When I was talking to Fort Bowers at Printing United, he told me that, he started very kindly saying that some have been negative about the trade shows. And then I said, I think that I was one of them. And I wouldn't say that I've been negative towards the trade shows. I've been more negative towards the idea that trade shows needs to develop as any other business needs to develop. And I think that too many of the trade shows has been like same kind of thing. You have been visiting the trade shows we just mentioned, but in your mind, do you think they are developing according to the needs in the market? Because, the reason I'm asking is because, the Printing-Expo.online is, as you say, 24/7, 365 platform. If you look at Hunkler Innovation Days coming up and some of the what I refer to as the private events becoming more and more significant, both the D-Scoop and Hunkler Innovation Days, and just recently also the Spicy Talk and EPS Connect, and there's a lot of these things. Is the dynamics of the market, is that changing the need for the physical trade shows in your mind?
I think that the way that technology is moving, trade shows have to focus more on the time poor print service provider. I think, back in the day when I worked on IPEX, companies would close down for the day and everybody from that printer would come to IPEX. The senior managers would walk around and look at brand new technology. There'd be tons of machines there, and the production staff would, have a little walk around and probably spend most of the day in the bar. But that's changed. I think that visitors now are time poor. Most print service providers are working on the shop floor. They're running machines. They're even driving vans and delivering. So I don't think they have that luxury whereby they can actually spend a lot of time out of the factory, away from their job. And I think that's where trade shows need to address. They need to be more focused, I believe. And Printing United was really busy. It was really busy, but it was focused on textiles, and then you had the more general Printing United. Label Expo, very busy. FESPA, very busy. But these are singular focused market shows. The more general exhibitions that cover all aspects, I don't know whether they're the type of event that people are going to want to go to. And we'll see in 2024 at Drupa how that pans out. I don't think people travel. The US shows are predominantly US. you don't tend to get an awful lot of visitors outside of the US visiting US shows. FESPA in Berlin, they're mainly Europeans. You don't get many people coming from the Far East. You don't get a lot of people coming from the US. So and Drupa, we've seen it over the last. I mean, I've done 6 Drupas, and every year the visit numbers drops. In 24, will we get people from the Far East travelling? People from Asia? I don't know. Drupas, I mean, certainly from the UK, not an awful lot of people from the UK go to Drupa. The marketplace is changing. The horizon for trade exhibitions is changing.
That was exactly what I wanted, why I was asking, because I mean, if you look at Label Expo and FESPA, they realized this many years ago, so they are like a traveling roadshow in a large scale, right? Because you basically have Label Expo in all the continents. You have FESPA in all the continents. You have even these scoops in all the continents. So I mean, it seems that some people have started to realize, okay, maybe a little bit more focused, a little bit more geographically close to where people are. Because I mean, everybody knows that getting to an airport, flying for many hours, getting out of an airport, the insane cost of hotel prices and food prices when you go on trade shows is simply like, I mean, and then I think there's an additional thing that has changed also, that again, also referring to like the Drupa, is that, one thing is that it's expensive to go to Düsseldorf. Another thing is it's expensive to stay there, but you also get away from your business. And it is just a fact that more and more people need to be in the business because you don't have a huge surplus of people in the company anymore. Yeah. And therefore you also have to take in the cost of not working, basically, right? Yeah. Interesting point, Wayne. I was just thinking one more thing, because I mean, if you look at, I agree with you that I think Printing United was pretty fantastic from a participant perspective. I think it was great to see all the booths. I think there was a lot of more technology than the first Printing United in Dallas. But I was also thinking that I think that Printing United as an organizer, they did a huge work of convincing people to go. And if it wasn't because a huge effort of trying to get more people involved, it would probably have been a way smaller show. And of course, that is the work they have to do. But maybe in the past, the organizers have focused more on the vendors and the exhibitors rather than getting the customers to get there. What do you think of that?
I agree totally. I mean, Printing United did a fantastic job, and Printing United is I think it's fair to say, is the largest print show that happened in America. I've been to print when it was in Chicago over the years, and I think they did a fantastic job. The textile industry as well. I mean, that draws a lot in. And don't forget, of course, Heidelberg was there with an offset press. I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw an offset press. Oh, and I think Ryobi had a press there as well. It's great to see equipment coming back to shows. But I think what happened is in the past, and it happened with IPEX, when we was at the NEC and we had 23 halls, we started grouping all the manufacturers in halls. So we put all the wide format in one hall, we put all textile, all offset. And of course, what happened was they decided, well, actually, the association said, well, this is something that we could move around, and FESPA does that really well. But as I say, it's very expensive to take kit now, and I've noticed it, and I'm sure you have. The amount of equipment now that you see at shows is far less, and as I say,
at least on the more regional shows, because I would say that if you look at, as I said before, Printing United this time had definitely more equipment compared to the first one. But I have also been at trade shows where you basically see big vendors where I'm exaggerating, but they basically just have a roll-up. And I'm just wondering if that can, I don't think it can attract people to just come and see a roll-up and talk to the representatives, because they can do that in their showrooms. And that is also a fact that during the pandemic, a lot of the vendors have built up their own really comprehensive experience demo centers where they have all the equipment, even sometimes with partners, so you have end-to-end solutions that you can see just as if you're going to a trade show. And to take it down, move it to a city, and take it down again and move it back to an experience center is probably getting less and less attractive, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. The experience centers now are getting better and better and better. HP's Barcelona demonstration center is phenomenal. The Canon experience center in Venlo. Even Zycon do the Print Cafe, and they're running their own little mini shows. And the thing is that that's far more focused, and I think that certainly for the OEM, it's a captive audience, isn't it? And you're right. Now with technology, do you need to go to a trade show? If I'm a busy print service provider, and I think back to some of my customers from when I used to sell MIS that I used to speak to on a daily basis. These are really busy guys. These are guys that are really having to work on the coalface to keep their business afloat, and they don't have the time to just fly out to Germany or wherever it may be, because, as you say, it's the flights, it's the accommodation, it's the time out of the office. And if you're going to go to something like Drupa, you've got to go for 2 or 3 days. There's no point in just spending a day. And I just think that the organisers need to bear that in mind if they're not already.
With all these things said, where does that leave Printing-Expo.online? Because when I look at your platform, I've visited relatively frequently, not as often as I wish, but I do it quite frequently, and I see you have inkjet areas, you have federation area, you have the big OEMs as you talk about, and you have unlimited exhibition space, and people can spend minutes or hours or days if they want to, and they can do it whatever time they have. So from a Printing-Expo.online perspective, the challenges that we just spoke about in the real world is, it's an opportunity for you, isn't it?
Yeah. But I can't stress enough, it's not to replace live events. This gets levelled at us all the time. Live events are really important to us, and I agree. But what we're actually doing is we're creating environments that the OEMs may not be able to do in a physical sense. As I say, for Muller Martini, the only place you can see all 9 production lines is at Printing-Expo.online. That doesn't exist in the real world. With Zycon, 3 showrooms now, 3 dedicated showrooms and an application centre. For HP, the Digital Pouch Factory, the commercial showroom, we're just putting the finishing touches to a huge, large format stand for HP. We have Cornet Digital. They've come into the market. They've totally got behind the platform. We've created a huge glass tower for them. So the downstairs reception and auditorium. Then you go upstairs to the machine room, and they're launching some new kit next year. So watch out for that. We're putting another floor on now, so they're adding more equipment, and we can go up. We can keep going up with that in the virtual world. We will soon be launching the Printing Expo Sustainability Zone, which is being sponsored by Heidelberg, and we're just putting the finishing touches to their stand, and that's got a CX104 press on it. I wanted to put that up on a mezzanine floor, but they said no, you can't put several tons of machines. So it's a great opportunity to see what's going on. So the sustainability zone is quite exciting. So we're trying to get companies to get on board and show their sustainable products. Zone 3 will be opening soon, and I think we're putting it together at the moment. But I think Zone 3 is going to be virtually full. So we'll be looking to open Zone 4. So yeah, new stuff being added all the time. people can come, spend a couple of minutes to look at something specific, or they can have a wander around with a cup of coffee. It's all pretty laid back, and we'll just keep developing it. We'll keep building our visitor database. We'll keep them informed with news. We have our auditorium where we worked with INKISH to show showcases. So we'll just keep going. There's no limit.
And I mean, I think also it's great that you have a lot of media partners and organizations as part of your offerings, because basically it is like a trade show where it's important that you get the information that you need as a PSP and a converter, basically to get access to the information you need. Wayne, a last few minutes here. I mean, I get all the opportunities. I also get it's not replacing the physical world, obviously, not yet. But when I met you at Label Expo, you had a box of a pair of goggles. Was that just for you to have fun yourself, or is it also where you see the world moving, also in the exhibition space, starting using new kind of technologies in order to make the let's say the bridge between the physical and the analog world even more integrated?
Yeah, that is the next step. The metaverse is where we're looking to go. We're already in conversation with a couple of our existing OEMs to create a metaverse where you can use the augmented reality headsets, and then that will take it up a level. That will take it up to the level whereby they'll be able to meet their customers in the showroom, and they'll be able to walk around. It's more of a gaming platform, so it is taking it up another level. We have done some mock-ups. I mean, I'm still trying to get over the seasickness when I've got these goggles on, but that's the thing is that we're noticing, certainly with our platform, that the 25 to 35 age group is where the largest proportion of our visitors are coming from, and these are millennials. They're used to doing everything online.
One of the things I noticed in some of the data you shared online was actually a considerably part of younger people using the Printing-Expo.online, and I was very pleased with it. But I was also wondering if it was more like if you had done unorganically advertising for the platform and then basically pitching a younger segment in the market, or is it organically that you see people coming into Printing-Expo.online because it is I would say a tool that is maybe more convenient to use if you are like a millennial or used to work with computers. How do you see the age gap in that perspective?
It's a digital marketing platform. That's what we describe ourselves as, and our marketing is through email marketing. It's through LinkedIn. It's through Facebook. It's through Instagram. It's through Twitter. So these are all platforms that this generation use on a daily basis. So therefore, the people that are far younger than you and I are seeing our marketing and are happy to sign up and register for the platform. So, I talk to a lot of people about the platform, and I think it is fair to say that some get it more than others, and the people that tend not to get it so much might be at the higher end of the age range. But I mean, if I'm sat chatting to a marketing director who is mid-30s, they get the platform. They understand what it's about and they understand the benefits. So it's different. It's totally different, and some people get it more than others.